So this is a story how I shot one of my drill sergeants, Lowry, in basic training. We were out on the firing range. They, said ceasefire downrange, ceasefire. We were in a foxhole, and so it's dead quiet. We've been shooting for maybe, I don't know, probably an hour at that point, maybe longer. And I don't know if I fell asleep in there while I was firing or not, but anyway, we had a stand next to the side of the foxhole, and I put the butt of the M16 like we have been shown to do several times before. When I hit it, I hadn't fired the last shot, and my drill sergeant just happened to be standing there, and it went, it shot so close in front of his ear. He said he felt the wind off of it. He was deaf for, I think he said, about 30 minutes, and he reached up and actually brushed some of his hair away. The bullet came so close to his hair, it actually cut some of his head, it cut some of his hair off. So he stands there, and I remember hearing him mumbling, I did 8 tours in Vietnam in the bush, and I'm going to die shot by a trainee on the firing range here. And he just shook his head. About that time, all the other drills is like, we said ceasefire, get the hell out of that hole, boy, that kind of thing. And the biggest one, he was about probably 6'4", maybe 6'6", about 350 pounds. He says, I said, get out. He reached down up my shoulder, pulled me up, and I think he had me by the neck, and he was just shaking me, saying, boy, you trying to kill somebody, we're going to kill you. You don't, he said, ceasefire, why are you firing your weapon, that kind of stuff. And I'm just like, I didn't fire it, I don't know what happened. Police put me down. So by that time, everybody on the whole range, about, I don't know, I think it's about 180, 200 people were surrounding me. Pretty uncomfortable. They said, we'll get to the bottom of this. My drill said, take his weapon, let's go over to the weapons van. So we go over there, and there was a couple of guys working on the M16s there, and they go in the back, and one of them says, hey, to somebody or another, calls another older guy out. He says, okay, well, let's figure this out. So he undoes 2 or 3 screws real quick. The weapon splits open. He looks. He starts poking around with a screwdriver, and he says, oh, I see what the problem is here. And the drills call over. They're like, what? And he says the selector switch is aluminum. It's been flipped so many times it broke in half. So it's equivalent to the gun, the weapon not having a safety. And it was already cocked, so the firing pin had a hairpin trigger. Just jolting it made it go off with that last round. So they're like, oh, okay, we have to kill this guy. And he says, well, we'll fix it, and you can give it back to him. And you replace the part. I think you replaced 2 or 3 other parts. And I looked at the bottom of it. I hadn't looked at this before, but the thing was manufactured in August 1972, so it was a good deal older than me. He said the thing had been used in Vietnam, no telling how many rounds had been fired through it and how many times that selector switch has been flipped. So anyway, nobody was hurt. Interesting story. I believe we were the worst training cycle since World War II as far as injuries and deaths. So don't recommend the military, at least not the way it used to be. I heard you get 8 hours of sleep now, and it's a lot different than what it was then. Anyway. Hope you like the story. Please like, subscribe, share, all kinds of good stuff.